Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast, and today we're going to be doing the pre-match press conference review with regards to the Athletic Bilbao game. That's Ruben Amorim's pre-match press conference that featured Ruben Amorim and Alejandro Garnacho. Manchester United head coach faced the media at Carrington ahead of tomorrow night's or Thursday night's pivotal Europa League game, Europa League semi-final, second leg at Old Trafford, with his team holding a commanding 3-0 lead over Athletic Club from the first leg at Bilbao. Now, despite this advantage, Ruben Amorim struck a tone of caution and focus, emphasizing that nothing is guaranteed in football. He says anything can happen. So, basically, with regards to how the first press conference went, we're going to break it down into a few basic points. First and foremost is that Ruben Amorim gave an update with regards to injury and squad, and he began by confirming that Matthijs de Ligt will not be available due to minor injuries sustained recently. He said he's not ready, and the Dutch defender will also miss Sunday's clash if I don't think there's a Premier League game on Sunday. I think the Sunday is the FA Cup final. Well, yeah, we'll never know. Let's see how it goes. But we face West Ham, right? Though his condition will be assessed day by day, according to Ruben Amorim. Midfielder, and then Ayden Heaven also is not ready. I think he was seen training alone in the press conference, in the training video. And then Toby Collyer as well has been ruled out. The rest of the squad, however, if fit, they are available. And then with regards to the question around complacency and all of that, Ruben Amorim said this is not an option. Despite the 3-goal cushion, Amorim made it clear that United will not approach the game lightly. One goal can change everything. I mean, the momentum, the emotion, the crowd. He warned that, referencing the team's inconsistent performances at home this season, and he said we cannot be complacent. He says nothing changes. He cited the recent match against Lyon, where United struggled despite being favourites, as a reminder that as a reminder of football's unpredictability. He said we are prepared to fight to win the game, not thinking about the result of the tie. He said we need to stay focused and score and win. And he said nothing changes. We have to win. That is what he says. We have to win. With regards to tactical reflection on the first leg, Amorim gave a revealing breakdown of the first leg, particularly the opening 30 minutes when Athletic pressed aggressively and caused United problems. Now, until the red card tilted the balance, he said most of their chances came from our mistakes, losing possession in bad areas. And I said this in the match review when I said Ugarte was losing possession at some point, and I think Patrick Dogo too was losing possession and all of that, and our passes were not connecting. He explained that, but Amorim explained, highlighting United's build-up and ball control. And he said that this must improve. He said also that we showed the players where we lost control, not from their structure, but also from our own mistakes. Now, he said when he was asked about if he watched the game back again, he said that he watched only 30 minutes and then left the rest. 30 minutes, that's before the red card, and then left the rest because obviously we're training on how to play 10 against 10 and 11 against 11, not 10 against 11, or not one man down. You know, no, we're not training on how to play against one man down. We're training on how to play 11 against 11. And after that first 30 minutes, that's it. He decided to, move on to other things. And then with regards to the speculation around Bruno Fernandes, news came out this week that Al Hilal are interested in Bruno Fernandes and are willing to pay through break the bank for Bruno Fernandes. And Amorim was unequivocal when asked about Bruno Fernandes, Man United's captain. He said basically was linked with a potential summer exit, and he said Bruno is one of the top players in the world. He's a leader, he's the captain, and we want him to stay. There is no change in our position. That is what Ruben Amorim said. And then he acknowledged the speculation, but stressed the club's commitment to retaining the best talent, including Alejandro Garnacho, who was mentioned in that conversation as well. He has been a subject of interest from top European clubs as well. Now, the question with regards to unpredictability of the United team, when asked, Amorim said when asked about about United's erratic form this season, Amorim was honest. He says, "We cannot control the narrative of the game yet. Sometimes during the match we change, mentally, emotionally, but we are improving. We're improving slowly but surely." Now, he said that basically at some point, because they were talking about, what sort of United team are you expecting in this game? And he said, obviously we are still improving. We're not the same. It's not consistent, but we are improving game by game. And we could surely lose our heads at some point. He specifically mentioned losing our heads at some point, but we are improving slowly but surely. And he cited games like Brentford where lapses led to collapses. So basically, we consider 2 quick goals as an example of the mental fragility, and he's still trying to address it within the squad. He said we considered 2 quick goals, and then eventually we were almost drawing, and then we considered 2 quick goals, and then we had to still now make it hard for ourselves to climb. And then with regards to reaching the Europa League final, Amorim reflected on the opportunity to reach his first Europa League final as a manager, contrasting the experience with his time as a player. And that was the question that was asked. He says, as a coach, you have to win it. If you lose, it hurts even more. You must focus on the semi-final first. Then the final means nothing if we don't get there. And also, he said, as a coach specifically, he repeated it again, we have to win it. And then on Athletic Club's injury woes with tactical adaptability and identity and all of that, obviously, there's news that Nico Williams and Iñaki Williams, as well as Oyehan Sansei, are all ruled out. And Athletic face a huge task, but Amorim is not underestimating them. And that is the kind of mentality I like from this manager. He's not underestimating any team. Obviously, we've had a poor season, but it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is missing. The idea of the team won't change. They will adapt their players, but not their identity. It is still a top club, according to him. It is a top club like Athletic Bilbao, right? He pointed out likely replacements like Alex Berenguer, who also played the last game in the weekend and played 42 minutes in the previous game against Man United. He played against Real Sociedad in the weekend where they drew 0-0. He also mentioned Alvaro Jallo and Unai Gomez. Noting their different styles, but affirming that the essence of Ernesto Valverde's system will remain intact. And that is very key. He's really studied this team and he's not taking chances at all. He says we can't take chances at all. And with regards to Arsene Wenger's comments on the Europa League, now this is where I have a bone to pick, and I'm going to explain a little bit before we round this up. Now, he was asked about Arsene Wenger's suggestion that Europa League finalists should not qualify for Champions League. Amorim kept it diplomatic. Now, he says we just follow the rules. We know what they are, and we aim to win the competition, but we can't make the top 4 through the league, and it's our way into the Champions League. Now, he said we just have to follow the rules. The rules are there. If the rules change, we'll follow it. If the rules doesn't change, we have to follow the rules, and it's our pathway to the Champions League. And that is very straightforward. And now I'm going to give you my own take on this, and I'm going to also probably make a separate video to explain it. Now, if you look back in history, let's backtrack to last season. Last season, in the rule in the Premier League or in the English FA Cup winners get automatic Europa League spots, right? For example, if Crystal Palace win the FA Cup, for example, they automatically get Europa League. Now, if Crystal Palace get Europa League, Crystal Palace win FA Cup, they are FA Cup champions, right? Now, they qualify for the Europa League. Now, if they qualify for the Europa League and eventually win the Europa League, but finished maybe 11th or 12th, right? They will still get into Champions League, but it is through the route of the FA Cup, not through the route of the league. That's the point people are missing right now. Now, for Man United, we won the FA Cup last season, fair and square, against Man City and all of that, right? That gave us access into the Europa League, knocking Chelsea, that were qualifying for the Europa League by virtue of the position in the league, into the Conference League. Then Man United, through that route of the FA Cup, now go on to win the Europa League. that gives us access into the Champions League. It doesn't matter the league position in your current season. So Champions League and all of that, it's not about the league position in your current season. UEFA is different from FA in the league. Now, if you get higher, let's say for example you get higher in the league and you win maybe a spot in the top 5 of the Europa League. Let's say Man United got to the 5th position or 4th position in the Premier League. Now, another team, if Man United win the Europa League, that other spot is ceded to another team in probably another league or even in the Premier League to go play for playoffs to get into either the Europa League or the Champions League. Check the rules. It's there. So I don't understand why Arsene Wenger, who is supposed to be knowledgeable in this whole thing, is making such comments, and everybody's making the same comments. Oh, how can two teams, Tottenham and Man United, be on the brink of getting to the Europa League final and winning the Europa League only to get to Champions League, yet they're finishing 15th or 16th? It doesn't make sense because Man United won that spot to be in the Europa League through winning the FA Cup last season. So if we're talking about Europa League this season, it's from last season, and then getting into the final and winning it is from progressing through the Europa League to when, it's not about positions to get to access into the Champions League. Now, as Wenger is saying, the winners of the Europa League should go back into the Europa League, it doesn't make sense. Then what's the essence of playing the Europa League then? What's the essence of fighting to win the Europa League? Is it just to win a trophy and then go back to Europa League? No, doesn't make sense. There should be the trophy for winning the Europa League is basically, okay, you win the Europa League, you eventually play the UEFA Super Cup, and then eventually play the and eventually go to the Champions League. I mean, that is a pathway. FA Cup, Europa League, win the Europa League, Champions League. It's a pathway. The other leagues have the same as well. English FA has the same. They are all different pathways into getting to the Champions League. I mean, people should stop making a big deal out of it. It doesn't make sense at all. We might have had a crap season. It doesn't mean that. I mean, Birmingham City, if you remember at one point, or I think at the time, Wigan, actually, at the time when Obafemi Martins was there, won something. Portsmouth as well did the same. Leicester City at one point did the same. Did they finish poorly in the season? When they finished poorly in the season, did they stop the fact that they were in the Champions League? Champions League for champions, no doubt. But you focus on the previous season, and then now when it came to Man United and stuff, you focus on the current season. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, with regards to, and I'm going to make a proper video and explain the details and read out the rules most probably, but let's keep going. Now, with response to the season, Ruben Amorim was very brutally honest. He was brutally honest about the season. He gave a brutally honest assessment of the season. And in a moment of refreshing candor, basically, Amorim was reminded of his previous quote where he labeled United as maybe the worst team in the club's history, and he didn't backtrack. He said, if you look at our Premier League form since I arrived, we have been the worst team in terms of results. And if we win the Europa League, we could still be the worst team in the league. Maybe not in history, but maybe in the last 50 years. This was his exact words, but with the European title, right? This changes nothing. We know the season was really disappointing, but this changes nothing. Nothing changes. And I like that. That's very, very honest and all of that. And then basically my whole final take on all of this and all my ranting and all my assessment of Ruben Amorim's press conference. So Amorim's press conference was a mix of grounded realism, tactical intelligence, and leadership, as well as maturity. Now, he's not letting the scoreline cloud his judgment, nor is he ignoring the flaws of this United side. Now, his primary message was clear. This job isn't done yet, and complacency has no place at Old Trafford on Thursday night. We just have to go and finish the job. So, let me know your thoughts and feelings about Ruben Amorim's words. And also, there were some questions that were posed to someone like Alejandro Garnacho, also featured in that press conference, and he answered them. And there were some questions that he deliberately ignored, which I like. He was just straightforward, and it's like he didn't need to disrespect anybody or anything. At some point he was compared to Cristiano Ronaldo, and he just kind of told me, you know what? He told the press, you know what? Ronaldo played in a different era, played a different kind of football. This time around, I'm just focused on wanting to be, on the team and try to help the team. Then the next question they asked him was with regards to, and that was when they were comparing him with him trying to eclipse Ronaldo's stats and goals and assists before 21. And then he was asked about the transfer rumors and all of that, and his position on the team. And he said, "I have a contract till 2028, and I'm happy here." Straightforward. That is the end. And then there were other questions that were posed to him with regards to, having conversations with other people who were fans of Athletic Bilbao, but I didn't see that question as senseless or anything close to what is involved in the game, amongst other things. So yeah, so many other questions, and I think there was a question that was posed to him with regards to Ruben Amorim's comments about United being the worst team in the league, and then he said, one sec here. So about United being the worst team in the league, and he was pretty straightforward. He ignored that and says, "Oh, we know we have had a bad season, but the manager has said it that this doesn't change anything. We have to still work hard. We have to try to win. So it is what it is." And I like it. Very straightforward, very honest and stuff. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about the press conference, Garnacho's comments, Ruben Amorim's comments. You can see some of the shorts on our channel and our various platforms at United Talks Pod. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Hit the comment section and drop your comment about the press conference and all of that, and we will have conversations with regards to that. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next video, which is the match preview for the game against Athletic Club. We have some interesting lineup to go with Athletic Club. So see you on that video. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.